Keep It or Change Cars. It is all about the motoring public.
Welcome back to the Keep It or ChangeCars podcast. I'm Nicky, your host as always. Normally, my co-owner always asks me what come in. But today, I picked him up today. So he knows exactly what come in, what come I in, and tell the people your thoughts of the come in before I do.
So normally I'm excited to see what Nicky's in. Today I'm disappointed to see what Nicky's in. Mitsubishi Outlander Sport.
Yes.
Tell me one good thing about it, that you're giving it back next week, Wednesday.
Yeah, but I'm giving it back. I think, if that's a good thing, yes, definitely that.
So I think it's well known. I love the Japanese products, and I've always said Suzuki, Mitsubishi, Honda, Nissan, Mazda, Subaru, Toyota, you name it. Today, I don't want to say my first experience properly in a Mitsubishi in a long time, but I had the pleasure of being picked up by you, sitting as a passenger. The ride to start off with, bouncy. Immediately you get in, the ride is bouncy. You close the doors, they clang. The interior looks like a committee designed it and they couldn't agree on anything. And as for the exterior, more than a committee designed it. Shocking. What do you like about the car?
That's a tough question. That's a very tough question. I've had the car for 3 days. Today is the first day I've probably driven it because I've had other cars before. But that question, what do I like about it so far? So far, nothing. There's nothing that actually sticks out for me that I can say I like. Because from the exterior look of the vehicle, I genuinely don't like it.
But you agree that exterior just looks weird.
Yeah, and the color that I have is this
Like what, mustard
color. Yeah, so I'm not a fan of that. Interior as well. I'm not surprised with the interior because that's how new Mitsubishis look like.
Right.
I'm just not a fan of, like what you said, you didn't like the different color schemes in the car.
So on the dashboard, there's 3 different colors. You got the black that you'd expect.
Yeah.
Then you got like this white cloth almost.
Yeah.
And then brown out of nowhere. Just strange. But if I say to you the biggest problem,
Money.
yeah, if it was coming in at 250 or 300,000 rand, they say, guys, be fair. This is a lot of car for 300,000 rand. What's it starting at?
420, 430.
So 430 before on-road costs, approaching 450,000 rand for a car that is ugly on the outside, not nice on the inside, and genuinely it doesn't go good. Tell me about the doors when we close the doors, what you experienced.
So I actually pointed this out to you when we were outside. I was like, when you close the door, they make that sound. I can't say it on camera, the type of sound. Like, it makes like a cheap sound, and then like it kind of shakes when you close the door. And I said, my City Golf actually closes better than this. And I'm being
Dead serious.
dead serious about that.
1970s technology, but now historically, we've always said we've got to go back. Mitsubishi, what is it about Mitsubishi that I've always liked?
The reliability.
Reliability, the fact it's Japanese, but talking about reliability, warranty, I think pretty decent. What's the warranty on it?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 5 years.
5 years?
5 year unlimited, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so that's very good. But the service plan, 3 years, 45,000 kilos.
Yeah.
So what they're actually saying to you is we're going to give you 2 services, change your oil. We might need to do brakes once. What is 45,000 kilos as a service plan on a 450,000 rand car, there or thereabouts?
Yeah, it's too light. For me, it's too small. Like 45,000 is too small because that's 2-3 services. So
Correct.
I'm not a fan of that.
Now, anybody who follows, go look at what the complaints are about the Mitsubishi. Never reliability.
Yeah, never reliability.
Like, parts are expensive.
Okay.
So think about this. I'll buy a brand new car. I've got a service plan for 45,000 kilos. I do 25,000 kilos a year, 2 years. All of a sudden, I've got a car that I'm paying off for 3 more years because I financed it over 5 years. Hopefully not 6 years with a balloon.
With the balloon.
But 3 more years, and I've got no service plan.
So it's really expensive to service the vehicle.
So what is important, and we always say, whatever you do up front, see the end result at the end. Mazda, and again, openly, I love Mazda.
Yeah.
What is their service plan?
No idea. I'd be lying to
So to the best of my knowledge, unlimited mileage, or sorry, let me rephrase that, 5 years, 200,000 kilos warranty, and then unlimited services for 5 years.
Unlimited.
Unlimited services for 5 years. Now, when you buy a car, and I'm going to be doing 20, 25,000, 30,000 kilos a year, that counts a lot.
So they're still servicing it. Even if I do 150,000 within 3 years, they'll still service it.
100%. So let's just clarify. Mazda CX-3 and Mazda 2. 3 years, unlimited kilometers. So I always say you're a rep, whatever the case may be. 3 years, unlimited kilometers. You decide you want to drive down to Cape Town every weekend because you're scared of flying, buy that car. The other Mazdas, your CX-30, your CX-5, your CX-60,
60s.
5 years, unlimited kilometers. Now, how do you compare that? Both Japanese, both start with an M, 45,000 kilometers, 3 years, or unlimited kilometers.
I think Mazda I think they're really trying to show people that we're there for you guys and we want you to come to us. Because I think you also mentioned many episodes ago that they do that thing where if you go with your car there, they'll give you
A courtesy
a vehicle. Yeah, so they are showing you that, guys, we get the Chinese are here, we get you guys are going there, but
Correct.
come back home, essentially.
Now, let's be very, very clear. I have no hidden agenda, but I've got a very clear agenda. I want to advantage the public. I want to advantage the OEMs. When you're doing it right, you will always have our support.
Yeah.
Now, Mitsubishi, you're imported by Motus. And again, that's a story not for another day. That's a story for later. Mazda, we've had the pleasure of speaking to Benita van der Merwe from Mazda. She's going to be on the show in January. She is so desirous to take Mazda to the top. They've got the product, they've got the reliability, they've got the low risk. Those cars are good looking.
100%.
People are loving them secondhand. Mazda, you're on an uphill, not on an uphill struggle, you're on an uphill trajectory of sales. Well done.
So actually, still speaking on the warranty, I want us to also speak about the Chinese. I know they have that 1 million engine kilometer. So let's touch on about that. Which Chinese brand that does that actually?
So if I can ask you just to hold that thought for a moment.
Okay.
And as you said that, something came to mind. Everybody remembers what's happening with VW and the lady Maude. She's been given by VW until the 24th of December to accept their essential demand, which she wasn't supposed to share, but she's allowed to share. They are not doing 100% claim because their feeling is 10,000 kilometers and 3 years. That's their warranty. It's expired. Now, I always say hold that thought. After 3 years, VW are saying our engine is expired, doesn't care about the kilos, it's over. The Chinese, 1 million kilometers for the first owner. So Maude is the first owner. Mazda, 5 years.
Unlimited.
Correct. Hyundai, what is a Hyundai warranty as a matter of interest? Do you know offhand?
7 year, 200,000.
Kia?
5 year unlimited, I think. Yeah.
VW, tell me when you're starting to get the picture. So to anybody of thinking of buying
So
a car,
VW is 3 year.
3 years, 100,000.
100,000.
But in this particular case, it was 3 years and 3 months and 10,000 kilos. So if Maude was in any other car, let's be honest, it wouldn't have happened. But let's say it did happen. She would have been covered in a Hyundai, in a Kia, in a Mazda, in a any Cherry, GWM, 20 Suzuki. Yeah. So bottom line is, Simpiwe Ngona and Martina BNA, we've given you every opportunity, and I said it in the last episode, if they don't do the right thing, we're going to ask the public to make them do the right thing. And truly, today we're going to ask Simpiwe Ngona, you'll see his photo on the screen right now, his telephone number and his email address. You have not even had the decency, and remember, anything I say is verifiable. He can show emails, I have come back to her. He hasn't. You've not even had the decency to go back to Maude. Martina BNA, I've reached out to you personally, imploring you, begging you. I literally had to take a breath there, imploring you and begging you to do the right thing. On screen right now, you'll see Martina BNA's email address, head of VW South Africa. Do the right thing. Follow the lead of those that are doing it right. And to the public, I'm not a Chinese vehicle fan. However, ask me if I'd rather buy a Chinese vehicle or a VW. Short answer, any Chinese vehicle. Long answer, any Chinese vehicle, 8 days a week.
Never expected to say that for the long answer. So, still staying on the topic, which other manufacturer does 3 year? Off the top of your head, if you know.
Toyota, 100,000 kilos, but very, very interesting. Toyota have got one step further. It's roughly 12,000 Rand. They'll give you an 8-year unlimited kilometer warranty.
So you add like 12,000.
12,000 Rand. I think maximum on any vehicle is 15,000 Rand.
Okay.
But now that's an additional 5 years and unlimited kilos. Now you know why they can do that. Toyota is 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 kilos.
Yeah.
No problem. So bottom line is, of all the manufacturers we've spoken about, who's at the bottom of the pile? the people's car, the former people's car. So I'm going to ask everybody watching this to make comments about what should happen to VW. Should they do the right thing by Maude and any other client who's got a problem similar, or should they be let be? Unacceptable. What other German brands? Give me two that I absolutely love.
Audi, BMW. I know Mercedes now. Audi, BMW.
It's funny enough that you speak about Mercedes. No, our co-host on For the Girders, Bongani, was in a C55 or E55.
E53.
E53. I have no words. Mercedes, you are tugging at the heartstrings with that car. Amazing.
I like it.
Yeah. I had him a race and I was in a very, very fast car and I was lucky to come second. So now,
But it's expensive.
what is that? 2.5?
3.
3 million. Okay.
I can buy an M5.
100%.
Which
We're
is
talking
quite
about BMW. So BMW, Audi, and the third one I was going to say is Porsche. Let's compare them to VW. I will not say I've not had a single issue with BMW. However, if a customer's reached out to us, I get hold of the right people at BMW, including the head of BMW South Africa and his colleague Haley Philander. I don't want to exaggerate, and often I say I don't want to exaggerate. Is it a couple of days? Is it a couple of hours? Or is it as close to instant as possible?
I'm going to go as close as instant.
100%. And that for me is BMW versus VW. Porsche, again, we always say a short debate. Porsche, tick every single box. And talking about Porsche, have you seen the comments from the audience about when we speak about Porsche?
Oh, yeah, I have.
It's exceptional. I'll say it again and again. Porsche South Africa, you lead by example. But BMW versus VW, why I mention those two? We've always spoken to there's only two brands in South Africa that are universally liked, male, female, and all racial groups. BMW, 10 out of 10. VW, you haven't got a starter in your car.
I thought you were gonna say 0, but yeah.
But I'm disgusted. Now, Nicky, I want to share something. We're going to talk about Motus just now. Let's say we pick on a brand.
Yeah.
We pick on a brand. And in particular, it's me. I take full credit because I'm getting, I would say respectfully, the harder questions.
Yeah.
If I pick on a brand, like I am with VW, like I am with Motus, and people can turn around and say, but hey, Mike, it's funny, you only talk about those two. What about when we reached out to you about
these other ones?
It doesn't happen. I'm not saying that we don't get reach outs. I'm saying we don't get reach outs that are not easily resolved. And that's all it is. The issue, not the problem.
Yeah, I
and
remember.
are the issues not dealt with?
Yeah, I was about to say, I remember there's this term that you like to say is that issues will always be there. It's how you deal with the issue, the important thing.
Yeah. I take a brand like Mahindra and Rajesh Gupta, the way you treat me and your colleagues, I think it's exceptional. I reach out again because remember, Mahindra is doing well. Mahindra is doing well across all 9 provinces.
They opened another dealership in Montana.
Really?
So next
What happening in Montana? Like Toyota, Mahindra?
So where that Toyota spoke about?
Yeah.
Suzuki's here. Remember spoke about the Suzuki? So it's Suzuki, Toyota. Over here is Mahindra.
That's incredible.
Literally.
But my absolute respect for the Mahindra brand. You've got a CEO who genuinely cares. And when I say genuinely cares, he replies himself. Now, often I've said, are they doing us a favor or are they doing the brand a favor? Are they saying, oh, these guys are or everybody's the same, we get a reach out, deal with it?
Yeah, they're putting us all equal.
100%. So well done to them.
I want you to guess one thing, and this is because I saw your
Ford.
Motor. No. I saw you. Okay, but if I say it, you're gonna give it away. Guess what else has opened in Montana, and then we're gonna speak about what I actually want to speak about.
Motor dealership.
Yeah. Yes. You love the brand.
Toyota, Suzuki.
It's not an OEM.
Not an OEM. Honestly, you got me.
Black and orange. Black and orange.
Like an orange?
Black and orange is their brand.
Midas.
No. Close. You love the brand.
Black and orange?
Yes. Okay, you had an interview with the CEO.
I promise you, as I said, we'll honestly say never ever scripted.
Okay, you had an interview with the CEO.
Chitoa? No, not an OEM.
No, OEM.
Armatire?
No. We buy cars.
Oh, we buy cars. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So now I can say that caught me off guard in the most positive way. So I had the pleasure of interviewing Faan van der Walt last week, Wednesday, at their head office in Centurion area.
Yeah.
Now, there's no cars there. It's just their corporate head office. If I say to you, it takes a lot to leave me with goosebumps. But when you listen to the 30-minute interview, and I'd love you to do it on YouTube, the We Buy Cars interview, I had the pleasure, as I said, of doing it myself. You're hearing a guy that has risen to that level, and I say it respectfully, started like we all start.
Yeah.
Whoever doesn't start at the bottom has had a silver spoon in their mouth.
100%.
You listen to Faan speak. He's humble. He's kind. He's wanting to share his story, but not so that I can say, "Ooh, I've achieved." Why does he want to share his story?
So people know how hard he's worked to get to where he is.
And so others can follow. Anybody, and I really mean that, you're looking to start a hairdressing salon, you can have a couple of 100 salons. You're looking to start a fast food outlet, look at Nando's, look at Debonair's, look at Steers. They didn't start with 40 or 50. They started with one. The interview left me with goosebumps. Normally, when we talk, he says about 15%, I say about 85%. But with Faan, in the nicest way, I said 15% because I was just like all ears, the proverbial all ears. So on YouTube, the We Buy Cars interview, I believe it is an incredible facility as well.
Yes, it's quite big as well. Like I saw it being built, but I had no idea. I know there's a warehouse that's coming there, but I didn't know that I was We Buy Cars. And then I started seeing the black and orange. I was like, is this what I think it is? Then I started seeing them fill in cars and the We Buy sign came. Wow. I was like, okay, this is actually a good facility. It's quite big.
Now, the interesting thing is, again, I say, why Montana? How is it Montana?
Montana, yeah.
Off-ramp? Zambezi? Or
is it off-ramp?
So how far from the off-ramp if you turn left?
Turn left, no more than 2 kilometers.
So what is causing it in a positive way to become a bit of a motor city? Because you've got We Buy Cars, Mahindra, Suzuki, Tia. Oh, has it always been?
It's always been. You see, I'm sure even people in the comments will tell you it's always been. There's a lot of dealerships. Once you off-ramp, there's the BMW dealership and mini dealership right there. Then on this side, there's a Hyundai dealership. But Montana's always been known for dealerships. And then if you go straight down the road, you will find the dealerships that aren't on the ChangeCars website. So those type of dealers.
Because again, I didn't
So it's like, have you been to Gezina before?
Yes, I have.
So imagine those dealerships in Gezina.
Yes.
But in Montana.
Right.
The whole Zambezi Road on the left and right of Montana.
And again, something just to talk about. When you talk about that area, Stormville, Zambezi, I've always thought of as park and sell. It's not my car. I'm just selling it on behalf of, buy a piece of scrap and it's your problem. Would you ever buy from a park and sell?
No, I would never.
And again, obviously the reason, if I say, because you're right, but for the audience, one of the things that I want to share is we always say, if you have a problem, reach out to us and we'll do our best to help. But the one thing that we've got to be able to do is be able to help.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to negotiate, engage, and talk to the right people. If you're buying it from the Joburg Central crowd, how do you engage, talk, and negotiate with those people? They give you 2 middle fingers, and what can you do? So I've got to say again and again, I don't want to use the word due diligence, but to a degree it is. Wherever you are buying, do a check on it. Google, Hello Peter, word of mouth, and then gut feel. You walk in and it just doesn't look so nice.
Don't go for it.
How would they have attracted a car from a top seller? Does a top seller say, "Ooh, I want to sell my car to this dealership that doesn't look so nice," or do they want to sell it to that dealer in Montana, the one that we talk about, the new ones that are coming?
100% no. Sell it to quality dealer.
A quality car finds a quality dealer, so just be careful on that.
Looking at buying a brand new car? Visit changecars.co.za and click on the Beat My Quote tab, because we will beat your quote.
So Michael, I have something very, very interesting. So I saw an article, and this is actually going to make us lead into Motus, because it's about Hyundai. The Hyundai or Hyundai, whichever way you said.
It's interesting. So I know we always
Yeah.
In Australia, they say Hyundai.
Hyundai.
What do we say? Hyundai. Originally, we used to say Hyundai, I think, when it came.
And then now it's people just say Hyundai.
Hyundai, yeah.
So you correct us in the comments down below. So I saw an article about the Grand i10, the global NCAP rating. Do you have an idea Because out of 5-star, how many stars do you think it got?
Round figure.
0, yes. It got
Now,
0. And
Again, it leaves me cold.
yeah, because it just shows how unsafe the car is. And I think, because I'd like to think, because Hyundai is actually still doing quite well, and we'll speak about that in the Yawa episode. And I think their mass sellers definitely either the i10 and the i20. So knowing people that are getting into an i10 with a 0 NCAP rating, for me, it's a bit on the fence. Because when you look at the competitor, and the closest competitor that I could think of is a Suzuki Swift.
Now, the Suzuki Swift, if I'm not mistaken, is not exactly standout, but it
Yeah.
would be 2 to 3 star. It wouldn't be never 0 or 1.
It's not a 0, it's a 2-star.
2-star.
And for me, the difference.
That was borderline. No.
Yeah, that's also like, but when you look at it as a Grand i10, the Grand i10 gets 0 NCAP star rating, and then Suzuki has 2. Now it makes it look like the Suzuki is an amazing car, which it is an amazing car, but in terms of safety, if you were to tell people that before they bought the car, they definitely go buy the Suzuki Swift. So it's a thing of, and I can't think of any other cars, but something that I can urge the public to do is, as you're watching this, if you're wondering, just go on Google, search the car, say global NCAP rating. It's out of 5 stars. So basically, anything from 2 stars going down is bad. 3 stars going up, it's okay, it's good. And can you guess one brand that always gets 5 stars? A brand, not like a country, a brand.
Okay. So, Cherry?
No. You're on the wrong side of the world. Come back this side.
Okay. So, is it Japanese, German?
No.
Okay. Volvo, obviously.
Yeah, Volvo, obviously. India.
But are you... Okay. So, it ain't going to be Tartan if it is. Mahindra?
Mahindra.
Okay. But now what's interesting, and I always say what's interesting, the Chinese, and you said don't mention a country.
Yeah.
It's well known.
It's
I'm
not
not pro-Chinese.
Yeah.
But how many times have I mentioned on the show, the Chinese go for the safety? Absolute credit them. Now, the Chinese products, and is it Mahindra 5-star?
100%. The Mahindra 3XO, and that costs less than 300,000 rand.
But that's competing with the i10. Surely,
Yeah.
you're there or
yeah,
thereabouts.
they're there, but in terms of price,
Yeah.
and that is a 5-star.
Now, I said it leaves me cold. I'll tell you why I say it leaves me cold. Who is buying a Hyundai i10? And remember, we're not talking down to anybody.
Yeah.
But who would be the typical buyer in that category? Hyundai i10, Renault Kwid, and I imagine the Kia Picanto must be similar.
Same thing.
Who's a typical buyer?
First-year students,
Correct.
people that just started working, can earn a living. Young males, young females, those are the type of people buying the vehicles.
Now, everybody deserves the same safety, but think about this. You're a parent, you are proud to buy your child a car, and I've spoken well about Hyundai, I've spoken well about Kia, we've spoken well about Mitsubishi in the past, but now I go buy an i10 and I've got absolutely no clue. Remember what we said, it's not 1 or 2 star. To get 0 star, that is actually saying to you that this car is a shopping trolley or a scooter on 4 wheels. I mean, is that exaggerating?
No, you're not. Because even with the type of test that's done for the NCAP rating, it's basically a head-on collision. And if a head-on collision is a 0 rating, when you're out in public and you're driving, if you get into a head-on collision, chances that you're going to lose your life are quite high. And God forbid, we didn't want any of that to happen.
Now, what is important, Stanley Anderson is the CEO of Hyundai South Africa. Think about this question. Do you think this podcast is going to bring the news to him, or he knew about it?
He definitely knows about it. I feel like everyone, all the top people at Hyundai definitely know about the NCAP.
Have you heard anything mentioned? So again, let's say this. If you are selling milk and it's high in cholesterol, and you announce it's high in cholesterol, and I still choose to buy full cream milk, no problem. You've announced it.
He told me.
Should Hyundai not have mentioned this?
I get them not mentioning it because no one's going to go buy the car.
Correct. However, and again, we're not here to argue. I mean, we mostly agree with things. If I say to you, I understand what you said, they're not going to say it, but moral responsibility, a leading South African brand bought in by, surprise, surprise, Motus, as is Renault, they keep quiet. So my question to Hyundai South Africa, Stanley Anderson, I would like to know if you're going to make a statement on what Hyundai South Africa's position is on 0. And again, it sounds like we're rubbing it in. Not 1 or 2. You're on the score sheet. 0, there is no place on the score sheet for 0. It's saying like you disqualified on the safety count. To Hyundai South Africa, my personal feeling, and not the dealerships, because the dealerships have sold it as a representative of Hyundai South Africa. If you're a parent and you've bought a Hyundai for your kid, be fair. If you've done 5 or 10,000 kilos, fair usage. But I would say to Hyundai South Africa, you should take that car back. It is a death trap.
Yeah, but looking at the cars that are actually here, like you look at the Grand i10 now, because we know about that, Renault Kwid, Suzuki Espresso, because I'd like to think those vehicles are also zero.
We've spoken about the Suzuki Espresso before. Huge Suzuki fan, more than you know. Germany just don't like it for different reasons.
Yeah.
But what is the one Suzuki that we never recommend anywhere?
The Espresso. For me, the Espresso. Yeah. But everything else, go buy. Yeah.
Have you ever seen, and again, if you want to have fun, go onto the internet and see how they do a global NCAP test. So imagine a 7 Series BMW, quite a heavy car.
Yeah.
It hits something and there's a deformation in the front, but all the crumple zones, airbags take the knock. What happens to the rear wheels on a BMW 7 Series in the event of accident? Does it leave the ground or stay on the ground?
I'm going to guess stay on the ground.
Correct. Go look what happens to a Renault Kwid or a Suzuki Espresso. You see the car and it literally does that. The rear wheels lift off the ground. So for the youngsters, I'm begging you, rather buy something secondhand with a proper safety rating.
City Golf.
I will guarantee you that City Golf would also, funny enough, get a 0 because it's got no crumple zones at the time.
Definitely.
But do you think that car would be more unsafe than what we've seen with this i10?
More unsafe?
I don't think so. I think the materials that were used on that car were actually stronger than what they're using on this.
I don't think it would be more unsafe. I think, if not better, maybe on par. I don't think, because another thing, I'd like to think a City Golf is more safer than a Renault Kwid and a Suzuki Espresso.
I'll guarantee.
When I think of it like that. And the City Golf at the time, it made sense. When you take it then and bring it now, it's a bit of... So when you look at a Grand i10, it competes with a Polo Vivo. So that's a Polo Vivo is a new age City Golf, and I'd like to think a Polo Vivo doesn't have a 0 as NCAP rating.
Well, I've never heard anything negative about it, but to everybody out there, on your screen right now, you'll see the email address of Stanley from Hyundai South Africa. If you wish for his cell phone number, reach out to me. I'll give it to you. This year, we need to emphasize, why do we talk about this? What we're wanting to do is empower a public that has got choices. If the Hyundai i10 tomorrow was withdrawn from the market, will there be a problem, or will there be other manufacturers that can fill that void?
There won't be a problem. There will be other manufacturers. Suzuki will fill that void. Suzuki Swift easily fills that void. The Mahindra XUV300 easily fills that void.
5-star, remember that?
5-star, and yeah. How else competes with the Grand i10? There's a lot of cars that compete with the thing. I just can't think of anything off the top of my head.
150cc scooter, go-karts.
Yeah, but that's not a 0 and star rating. That's like a -5. Head-on collision, you guaranteed. I know there's a lot more cars that compete with the Grand i10. I just can't think of them right now off the top of my head.
Yeah. So now, in the first part of the show, I mentioned about Motus and why we talk about VW, why we talk about Motus. We spoke about Maude, who hasn't heard from VW. Then this very week, Hyundai. And again, nothing to do with the safety. Lady buys a 2025 Hyundai i20.
Ooh.
Her name is Ashika Govender. You will not find a more measured, eloquent lady. Reaches out, needs help.
Okay.
Now, needs help, why? Obvious. Not getting the assistance from the Hyundai dealership that she bought her car from. You can't make this up. 2 days before, I'd written to Gideon, whose name and number is on your screen right now.
Gideon from Motus.
From Motus.
Okay.
I'd written to Orchid, whose name and number is on your screen right now, and asked them, please, again, begging you, I need a go-to at Kia, Hyundai, Mitsubishi, Tata, Renault. Ignored. So Ashika reaches out to me. I introduce myself. We explain exactly what we can and can't do. And I say, for me to do anything, I've got to have a contact at Hyundai South Africa. I didn't. Stanley Anderson, now I've got your details. So I give her the telephone number for Orchid. On your screen right now, you'll see the WhatsApp that Orchid sends her. This is the CEO of Motus South Africa saying, I'm not the right person to deal with. Mike is wasting your time by sending you this message, and he's trying to be spiteful. Now, again, I've got to drill down on this. CEO of Motor South Africa, in writing, numerous times, publicly, we've said it. Please give us a contact. If I'm wrong, Orchid, send an email and I'll share it with the audience where you sent me the details. 2 days later, I get an email from Berenice Sauls,
Who's that?
head of risk at Motors. And she
Head of
said,
risk.
head of risk. And that's a very important position that we're going to talk about now.
Okay.
And she gives me 5 contacts, but it's just customer care, not a human being. It's an email.
Oh, so like it's a general, like
General.
at Motors.
How does that help? So now, Ashika Governor, 2025, Hyundai i20, bought brand new.
Okay. What's the problem with the car?
Again, I love to say this on your screen right now. Watch the video.
Because like I said, when I continue, it did. Yo.
Car won't start. Non-stop problems with the car. He reaches out to Stanley Anderson,
The CEO of Hyundai now.
CEO of Hyundai. You know what he tells her? This is 2-3 weeks into her dealing with a problem. What does he need to do? He needs to investigate. Investigate what? You've got
The car's
all
new and the
car's
car's
brand
a
new.
warranty.
Imagine you go to a restaurant, you order a steak. Steak comes and you say to the waiter, "Hi guys, sorry to be a pain. Something doesn't feel right with the steak. It just doesn't smell good." And they say, "No problem, sir. We're going to get hold of the people we bought it from. And we'll come back to you in about 4 days, 5 days."
They first going to say no problem. The waiter is going to say, "No, wait, no problem. Let's speak to the owner of the restaurant." Then the owner of the restaurant is going to speak to the people that bought the steak from.
100%.
Yeah.
But the way it would work in a restaurant, in all fairness, is so sorry, we apologize.
Take it, give it, you want.
And me. So the problem is solved. Now let us investigate. With Hyundai South Africa, let us investigate. Let us investigate at our own leisure. Let us waste your time. Let us give you angst. Let us not get back to you. How does that work?
So the car has a problem. They're not fixing it.
Not fixing it.
But the car is a warranty and it's a 2025 car and it's brand new. Why aren't they fixing it?
Remember I said to you this has been going on for months. Forward and back, forward and back. When Stanley spoke to her, he said he needs to investigate. She said you can do any investigation you like. He wants her to take it back to the agent on the weekend and they can investigate. Simple. The
Just pick
car
the car.
is not starting. Again, go back 1 minute, watch the video again. That's not a car that's starting.
Yeah, and if it's a 2025 Hyundai i20, the car has no more than 10,000 Ks unless
Yes.
it really drives.
I think it's got 8,000 at the moment.
8,000 at the moment.
And 8,000, far from trouble-free motoring.
Yeah, so I think if I was Hyundai South Africa, yes, there's a problem with that car. Clearly, she's also upset with the vehicle. I would like to believe the dealership she bought that vehicle from has a demo model i20 roaming around, for example. I'd say I can give you 2 choices. We take your car, we give you this one. That has maybe 6,000 or 4,000.
Like for like.
Like for like, we give you
100%.
this one. Do you want it? The other one is we take your car and we try fix what's going on here. But in the meantime, here's this i20. Once you fixed your car, you bring it back. We give you your i20.
So
back.
Ashika's concern, I think everybody will be able to relate to this. She's a lady. She needs to drive at night. You need a car where you've got absolutely 100% peace of mind. Now, you can't guarantee a car against getting a puncture. You can't guarantee a car against getting hitting a pothole. But you can guarantee a car that when I go to the parking lot, after I've gone to dinner, after I've gone for a movie, after I've gone to visit a friend, that it will start. Is that a luxury?
No.
Extras, aircon, ABS brakes, and will start first time.
Funny you should say that. Hyundai had an ad of an i10 where they were saying everything comes as standard. You don't need to pay for anything. So when you say that, it's contradictory. Essentially.
Now, getting back to Motus, if I may.
Yeah.
Now, you may think we're fixated with Motus, but allow me to explain. Motus is the only company that are unique. They're bleeding staff. They've got unhappy suppliers. They've got unhappy customers.
Yes, I heard about, sorry to cut you off, I heard about the retrenchment of the staff. So the retrenching, like,
By 900?
900 people.
900 people. 900 people, Nicky. How many miles is that? And, this is not drumming it in. That's thousands.
900 people is a lot of people.
Imagine being...
Why are they retrenching?
Because they need to save money. And this is absolutely key. So the organization, I think it's a motor industry, something called MISA, has engaged with them and given them suggestions. It's all public knowledge. I can share the document. They need to save 72 million rand. Okay, that's what motors need to save.
I can make them save 10.
Cut the salary. Cut the salary, for sure.
From 85 to 25.
100%. But now they need to retrench 900 people or radically cut bonuses, radically cut commissions, radically cut car allowances, cell phone allowances.
Rather do that than retrench people.
So,
don't you think?
Yes and no. And again, it's a very fair point. But if I have got commitments based on my salary having been 35,000 rand, and now you reduce it to 17,000 rand, I just can't make ends meet. They need to save 72.5 million rand. It's all on a document.
Yeah.
2023, the previous CEO, Osman Arbi. Google it. Remember, JSE listed company. We're not sharing any private information because often people say, but Mike, how can you not be scared to share? This is public information. Yeah. What a pilot earned at SAA, a government airline, it's not a secret. What a judge earned is not a secret. 2023, they need to save 72.5 million rand. Okay? Now.
Oh, now, yeah.
What do you think the CEO in 2023 earned? So we know that Orchid was 35. So you assume a bit less, right? Because inflation.
30.
Hey?
30, because it's 2023. That's like 2 years ago. So 30.
30. Okay. Google it. 76 million rand.
What?
Okay. I think the camera is going to shake because the cameraman is like literally uncontrollable.
Wait, he used to earn 76.
76 million rand. You just go in 2023 salary, Osman Arbi. 76 million rand.
So Orchid took a cut.
Orchid took a cut, yeah, brave guy.
Well, Orchid, I'm sorry, man. Like your salary is small. Like 76.
But now
that's
But now imagine, let's use an example in government. The United States government gives South Africa 200 million rand in aid to do something. 190 million rand of that is stolen. 2 years later, they say the people that they earmarked for employment on that 200 million rand project, there's no job. It's all because of what happened when the funds came in. So we need to save 72 million rand.
Yes.
Okay? Because someone earned 76 million and then 35 million. So now, Nicky, I find it almost incomprehensible. 76 million rand into one man's pocket.
That's a lot.
One man.
That's a lot of money.
So to the people at Motus, you've got a voice. You've got a voice. All I can ever do, I want to do what's right for the public. I want to do what's right for the dealerships. If you say the South African government, as an example, if you anti-South Africa, you're not anti-Nicky, you're not anti-Mike, you're not anti our people. You can be anti a government of the time. It can be the same if it's Bolivia, Argentina, whatever the case may be. Are we anti-Motus itself?
No.
Motus is an organization. I've said it before. I'm a shareholder.
Yeah.
So this is an absolute shout out to the chairman of Motus, Mr. Njeke. You are the chairman of the board. I'm very open when I've said this. When I was at the AGM, I saw nothing but nothing that impressed me about the board. They are a board that has appointed the wrong people. Mr. Arbi, 76 million. Mr. Jans van Rensburg, 35 million. They don't have the right dealerships. They don't have Suzuki dealerships. They don't have Chinese dealerships. So the company's taking the wrong decisions. Those that are taking the wrong decisions are being rewarded. Those that are affected by these wrong decisions are being retrenched, potentially. How is that acceptable?
Yeah, no, it really isn't. The wrong people are suffering at other people's hands.
Who do you think is the largest investor in Motus, the group? So remember, when it's a publicly listed company, you can buy shares, companies can buy shares, institutions can buy shares. Who do you think is the largest investor in Motus?
No idea.
The PICC. So it is my absolute recommendation that the board of Motus be disbanded, that the individuals right at the top, Orchid and Gideon that are running the motor division. Be put on a sabbatical, try retrenched. If you can retrench 900 other people, it can't be hard to retrench these two.
Well, if that happens, I'm open for the job. I'll take 20 million. Nothing. 20. That's a good cut.
You're just a genuinely easygoing, kind guy.
Yeah, that's
There's
a
no
good
salary
cut.
negotiation. Let's take a cut.
Just take a cut, even 10.
But
Yeah.
I know often when we speak, it sounds like you're saying again and again. What is the most powerful thing that you can have? I believe it's a voice. Am I wrong?
100%. Having a voice and having a voice that people listen to. I think that's the most powerful thing.
And so you can ask, what do I have to gain from this? What do I have to gain? I've been in the trade for 34 years. You've heard me say that many times. Imagine 900 people, men, women, who've committed their careers to this organization that are now in no man's land. Customer service at Motus. Why do you think customers are being treated the way they are? How can you be motivated? You don't know if you're going to be here next week.
Fair, actually. Yeah. Good point. You don't know. So you won't put your heart out for a company that come next week or 2 weeks' time, they're going to retrench you.
100%. So again, I believe openly, there's no one on that board that is irreplaceable. Orchid and Gideon, you are far from irreplaceable. In fact, the best thing that could happen to that company is that you do get replaced. I am not available. Nicky is, but off air, I'm going to tell him you don't want the challenges that are ahead of you if you had to take that position. You're a company like Motus. When you're bleeding your best staff, soccer, we always come back to soccer. And this is a real question. You've had a challenging season. The players are a tight-knit unit. The coach starts making the wrong move. Management starts making the wrong move. They say, hey guys, we're not getting the results we need. There's no more this expense and that expense. All of a sudden, the people that need to be motivating you are demotivating you. What are you going to do as a player?
You're just not there anymore.
If we lose, we lose.
If we lose. You don't care.
100%. How can you care for an organization that fundamentally doesn't care for you? Liverpool supporters love that organization, love that club. How can you expect your staff that you are prejudicing to care for you? So to every single Motus dealership and the staff, please know with genuine sincerity, my heart is with you. The solution is super simple. Board, management, to be changed, the right people in position.
Looking to buy a new or used car? Visit changecars.co.za.
So Mike, last week, right? Yeah. We shoot so many times sometimes. I tend to forget.
But can I ask you a question? Do you look forward to this?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I know there's always going to be like some hot topics. I actually do look forward to it.
100%.
Then I also get to, be myself as well. So I like it.
I know. I think you're saying I get to spend time with you, but hey, it's me dreaming.
No, I don't like you that much. So last week you came up with an idea, something called the ChangeCars way. And I saw in the comments as well that people are saying, actually, this is something. Have you received any other sort of feedback from the public?
So superbly so. So they always say, practice what you preach. So if you say the ChangeCars way, sounds like a marketing term and may well be a marketing term, but I'm proud of the ChangeCars way. You want to get hold of me or you? How easy is it to get our number?
Very easy. Just go on the website.
Go on the website. Go into Google and say, Michael Pashut, cell phone number. And remember, we don't say this with arrogance. I always say we say this with pride. I want to get hold of the CEO of Hyundai South Africa, Stanley Anderson. Number on your screen right now again, by the way. But why can you get hold of him if it wasn't for us? So the ChangeCars way, if my number's available, I'm practicing what I preach.
100%.
If there's a problem, and please believe me, during the day, we do deal with certain challenges, but we always say, Mark, will you hold on the line for 1 second? I'm going to get Nicky on the other line. We're going to solve this right now. And I say with pride, the ChangeCars way. We know how many dealerships are reaching out to us and say, Mike, you know what? Sometimes in our meetings in the morning, we talk about that. The customer is not always right. Remember that. However, when the customer is right, he is. Think like the customer. That's all part of the ChangeCars way. What would you want if the roles were reversed? Every single company, in any industry, will spend some form of money on advertising.
Yeah.
Now imagine advertising to somebody who doesn't know you versus looking after Nicky, the customer who does know you, and says, wow, guys, I really appreciate the way you handled this. I'll give you an example this week. I get a reach out from a customer. He bought a vehicle from a well-known Toyota dealership. Happy story. And that actually reminded me of an idea about happy story.
Okay.
He reaches out, he sends me pictures. You can see the paintwork is not right. Clearly not an accident. Resprayed for, etc. He brings it to the attention of the dealership. They don't argue. Toyota franchise takes the car back and swapped. Is that the ChangeCars way?
Yeah, that's the ChangeCars way.
But now often we talk about negatives. What I would love, because the dealerships that we work with, the quality dealerships, I'd love to ask you to, with your permission, say, Mike, share with your listeners, viewers, etc., the following story. What about feel-good stories from dealers, even if they're not on our website?
Yeah, I think that'll be good. It motivates other dealers as well to share their good stories, and then people also get shout outs on the platform.
And that's it. When we give a shout out, it's not paid for. The sponsor of this show is who?
It's my pockets.
There is no
There's no
sponsor of
sponsor.
the show.
Like, if you guys want to see that there's no sponsor, if there was a sponsor, these books wouldn't be here. Like, it would be the sponsor that's sponsoring on the table. You'd find, let's just say, for example, if Suzuki was sponsoring this, there would be like a Suzuki cap here, Suzuki something, or if we buy a car, like there would be something to that you guys can be able to tell that this is actually sponsored by a certain brand. We'd be wearing some type of t-shirts.
Correct.
Whereas right now, you can look around, name one brand that you guys can see on the TV, and you can't.
This show is owned by the brand that we are, ChangeCars.
Yeah.
I get people reaching out and say, can I just ask you a very personal question? I say, yes, I've got a beautiful girlfriend. I'm not single. I'm joking. They say, can I ask you a personal question? What is in it for you? Nicky, what is in it for us?
Honestly, nothing. Yeah, nothing. I was tried thinking, no.
So financially, definitely nothing. But
Yeah,
there's something
financially,
in
yeah.
it for me. And I've often used the word, there's no hidden agenda, but a very clear agenda. I love my industry. I need my industry to thrive. I don't want people talking bad about any product that doesn't deserve it. I want a public that feels protected. I'm an experienced buyer. I'm a young lady. I'm a young male. Makes no difference.
Yeah.
You know what? I feel that if I go with their recommendation, the right thing is going to be done. If I have a problem, you say, what's in it for us? Hi, Mike. Hi, Nicky. Can I pick your brain? Absolutely, with pleasure. Go look at our Google reviews, what people are saying. And again, always with pride. We're doing it for ourselves? No. We're doing it for you.
Something else that you also spoke about earlier is the ChangeCars buying service. I just want you to touch on about that because I know what it is. I just want you to just enlighten the public.
So very, very positive. I believe as a brand, we've said we're working with the best quality dealers. The best quality dealers sell the best quality cars. The best quality cars come from the best sellers. The audience that we have, I believe, honestly, not blowing smoke up your chimney, top notch.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to sell your vehicle, who would like to buy it more than anyone else? Wheelie wanted, We Buy Cars wanted, of course, but ChangeCars also wanted.
Yeah. If you guys have like a 7.5 Golf R or GTI, but
Whatever
R first,
price you want for it,
but
we'll
R-
pay it.
but R first. If you have low mileage, please guys, please reach out. Please reach out.
And this guy claims to be an introvert. He's an absolute extrovert. But put him in a Golf 7.5, I promise you, the man will be doing the interview like this.
Yeah, and you need to, how can I put it, marinate with something a bit for me to be out there. Otherwise, I'm old. I'm well in.
So if you are looking to sell your vehicle, nice and easy, changecars.co.za, go to the selling tab, easily upload your vehicle. It will take you 3 minutes, some photos, as much information as possible. And I say again, low mileage, one owner cars. We love one owner cars. Doesn't matter the year, as long as it's been well looked after.
Yeah.
If you've got a, how do you say the word, score?
Score. Yes, you're right.
Forgive me, I try my best to.
Yeah.
And how do you do it in Kodak?
Yeah.
He learned quickly. But if you've got the right car, we'd love to buy it.
Yeah. Also, there's something that someone said, like ChangeCars vision for the market. Is there like a ChangeCars vision? Like when you as the owner, is there a vision that you have for ChangeCars? And if so, I definitely think you do. And if so, what is it?
So that vision has grown after my interview with Fawn from We Buy Cars. Here is a man that came in, he named his business We Buy Cars. You know why he named his business We Buy Cars? Think about it.
Because we buy cars?
He said, how do you get across to the public? What do we do? So now we advertise cars, and you hear our jingle, it says, change cars, it's who we are and what you want to do, or change cars, it's what you want to do and who we are. My vision for the market, the dealerships in this country, what do you imagine, Nicky, besides staff and property? It's in other words, their rental or their bond repayment and staff.
Yeah.
What would you imagine is their biggest expense that they have in a business?
I'm not sure.
Advertising.
Advertising.
So now, with or without change cars, the industry continues. There are many platforms that you can advertise on.
Yeah.
But to every single quality dealership out there, give us a call. Find out what we charge. For us to advertise your car, as much as we're helping you, and trust me, we are helping you, we're helping ourselves. 37,000 cars today, 42,000 cars on Wednesday, 45,000 cars the following week, 50,000 cars. Who are we helping? Ourselves.
That's all.
So our advertising packages, I believe, are not only palatable, it's what the industry should be charging. How does a small dealership pay 40 or 50,000 rand a month to advertise cars?
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. So you asked about our vision. Call it the change cars way. Do unto others as you'd like done unto yourselves. I'm sure that's a biblical saying, not a...
That's Luke 6 verse 31, if I'm not mistaken.
And over to you, Nicky.
I know, because it's one of the verses I really
But
like.
isn't that, I mean, and that was coined thousands of years ago
Yeah.
in the New Testament. But isn't that the epitome of what life should be? Do unto others as you like done to yourself.
Yes.
Put yourself in the customer's shoes. If you're a husband, think what your wife would like. If you're a wife, think what your husband would like. And that is our vision. Again, not being righteous and royal. Think like the customer. Give more than you take. One of the nicest sayings I've ever heard. They always say the more you give,
The more you get.
so they say the more you give, more you get, more you receive. One of the nicest sayings, and a big shout out to a personal friend, AB Sank, 93 years old and healthy and strong. He said, the more you give, the more you will have to give. Think about that saying. If you're a giver, you will always have. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The Change Cars way, the book is just growing with things to do.
Need advice? Visit changecars.co.za and click on the Ask Mikey tab.
So I'm used to driving my own cars, and you get sanitized to your own cars. Today you came to fetch me, and funny enough, it didn't ring a bell because of that. But you drive a lot of different cars. We've spoken about stop-start. Irritates the living heebie-jeebies out of me. Indicator noise. Have you ever thought about indicators? Why do indicators make a noise? Is it to remind you to switch them off?
I think so. But some cars are irritating. There are certain cars where I don't like to say this, but
BMWs.
I avoid to indicate. Like if let's say I'm stuck in traffic and I'm turning right, I won't indicate.
But you put your window down and you put your hand
I
up.
won't do it. I won't indicate until I get closer to
Because of the noise.
and then I'll indicate to show the people that are in front of me that I'm about to turn and people behind me that I'm about to turn. But if it's like a long traffic, let's just say there's like maybe 10 cars ahead of me and I'm turning right, I won't indicate until I'm closer and then turn right. I know it's a car that I had recently. I'm trying to think cars I had now. It was very irritating.
But it absolutely irritates me.
The Chinese, some of the Chinese vehicles, yeah.
You can be on the phone to somebody and they're doing the right thing, they're talking on a car kit, and the indicator's on. You can actually hear that. Of course, the navigation can make a noise, turn right in 300 meters, no problem. But how do you do away with that? Because that, to me, is something that's antiquated. In the last 30 years, how often would you remember or forget to put your indicator off? Surely you're not going to forget it.
Yeah, you won't forget. Maybe sometimes you see, but you'll notice because you'd look. Because if you don't drive and you don't look at your SON cluster, then it's a problem.
So some people, and you'll see it, you're driving on the highway, second from right lane, and you'll see that indicator's on for 2 kilometers. They've obviously forgotten to put it off.
Yeah.
So clearly in some cars, it's not loud enough. Then I got a question, and it's interesting, and I have two answers for this. What suits me and what's better for the public. Climate controlled. When you talk about climate control, what do you understand by the term 2-zone, 4-zone climate control?
2-zone, like on the left and right.
For the front
passengers.
And then the same for the back. So it's 4.
That's 4. It was for the back.
Okay. So now if I say to you, when I drive the car, with all due respect, I'm king of the castle. When you drive the car, we'll negotiate. No, that's a joke. Do you like or dislike the 2-zone, 4-zone?
I like it.
Okay, why, if I may ask? That's why I say I can wear 2 hats.
Because sometimes it could be a hot day,
Right.
but you don't want to feel very cold, and the driver is feeling like they want to be very cold.
Okay.
So you can adjust it, but like there won't be a time where I have it on low and he has it on high.
Yeah.
Like it's very rare. It always be maybe I'm on 17 degrees and then the passenger is probably like on like 19 or 20
Okay.
or 21.
So I tell you what irritates me. If you take the Range Rover, for example,
Yeah.
it's got a button that says sync. So if I push sync, then the driver's side controls everything. But if the passenger, front, left, or rear, changes theirs, it deactivates the sync.
Yeah.
So now when I change it again, I see 16, 18, 21, whatever the case may be, and I'm looking there, it's totally different. Got to push the button, got to push there. It's like 3 steps. So in theory, good or bad? Would you say good?
For me, good.
One of the things that I absolutely loved, and I love the feedback that we get from the public. Remember when we spoke about the 1-2 unlock? So I said, when a car doesn't unlock, it irritates the living out of me.
Yeah.
If I say to you, I don't think 5 out of 300 people agreed with me. Everyone, did you remember? Yeah. You said you like it for the safety. It was universal, male, female. We live in South Africa, bro. If you want to unlock it, double click it, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested to see what people say about the climate control. So remember, I'm looking at it from the perspective, I'm a driver. It just irks me when somebody changes it, and it means I've got to go back and change. What else can you think of before, as we come to the end of the show?
What are 2 things that you like? Well, that's making you happy, and something that's not making you happy. I know one that's not making me happy.
Motus and VW, you know, too.
Except for those.
So not making me happy. What, in terms of motor manufacturers or on the road?
On the road. You experience it, I think, every day as you drive.
Oh, the scooter drivers.
Yes.
So I've seen that the JMPD and the Tshwane Metro Police and all the relevant departments are coming down hard on these scooter drivers. Nicky, I really do believe these guys are an absolute danger to themselves. Everything they do, it's like taxis on 2 wheels. They go the wrong way around traffic circles.
Yes, they
don't go through booms. They don't stop at robots. They treat a robot like a pedestrian treats a robot, and it's not cool.
Yeah.
And if you allow that, what happens?
Accidents will happen, and people will think it's right.
It is so completely wrong. And again, we're not xenophobic. Please don't ever misinterpret us. But all of these individuals are fundamentally people from foreign countries.
Yeah.
Do they have licenses? If they've got licenses, are they genuine? Have they done a conversion in South Africa? Why are the police now starting to go after them? They're obviously seeing what we think.
Yeah, and I think maybe some police probably have also experienced what we experienced, or they are starting to experience what we experience.
Unless you're blind, it's every single day. If you see a scooter driver, count to 5 and he will do something wrong. He's driving too slow in the right-hand lane. He's driving too slow in the left-hand lane. He's not indicating. I mean, you think the indicators on the scooter are irritating him?
No, he can't hear it. He can't hear it.
But now you said about feel good.
One more.
What is making me feel good? Also, our cities.
Yeah.
If you take the G20, what it did for Johannesburg, okay? Go into downtown Joburg. The roads are clean. The hawkers, I don't say have been removed. They're just obeying the rules. And the rules are a sidewalk is for walking, sell in a designated area. I think his name's Dada Morero. How do you pronounce the new mayor of Johannesburg?
No idea.
Now, if you see what this gentleman is doing, absolutely exceptional. Let's wear 2 hats. Our government and our city councils have stuffed up for far too long. However, when you do get somebody that comes in and says, I am not like the predecessors, I am taking the bull by the horns, does he deserve support or does he deserve abuse?
Deserve support.
Absolutely. You know, you can't be effed if you do, effed if you don't. He comes in, he's posting everything he does, not for his credit. It's like, check this out, make you feel good. And then you'll get the public saying, oh, why wasn't this done 5 years, 10 years, 15 years ago? Fully agree. But would you prefer those negative soothsayers, would you prefer to see this gentleman doing exactly what they were doing, or
Something different.
so to Dada Morero and your team and all the metros across the country, if you want to create jobs in this country, clean environment, an area where a businessman and OEMs and anybody can say, you know what, I can invest there. Montana, neat. Menlyn, neat. Doing well. Pretoria CBD, Blood Street. Do you think any motor dealers looking to go there?
Not at all. How do you even know that? Surprising.
Blood Street. Because I've been to the Pretoria Zoo, if I'm not mistaken. It is a road.
Yeah, it is the road.
He looks at me like I've never been to Pretoria. Like only he has a privilege of going to both cities. But let's put it this way, Blood Street and what's the other? Is it Marabastad where that is?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not exactly the area where you would expect to see
No, you won't. Yeah.
an individual like myself.
So
Another great podcast.
100% been a good one. Thank you guys for liking, always sharing, always commenting, engaging with us. All you ask is share this with your friends and family so they can also watch us and they can get the knowledge that you are currently receiving from us. But we've had a beautiful episode.
And if anybody from Motus hasn't seen this, somebody will share with you.
Keep it or change cars. The podcast brought to you by SA's most trusted online vehicle website, ChangeCars.